Hello, my name is Jessica Kay, and I'm going to tell you a story called Mermaidia-Locks and the Three Big Strong Sharks. And that story is an adaptation of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now I'll start the story. Once upon a time, there's a curious mermaid called Mermaidia. She lived in a very big castle with big doors and big attics, and she lived with her mother, the royal Queen Mermaid. But sadly and tragically, her father died a year ago in an underwater volcano explosion. Mermaidia's mother and her servants treated Mermaidia very kindly because they knew how much Mermaidia grieved and moped when her father had died. So, after a year after Mermaidia's father had been killed, all the servants in the castle have been instructed to destroy all underwater volcanoes that existed in the Pacific Ocean. Mermaidia wanted to join them in their dangerous journey, but she couldn't help feeling scared as a little baby kitten. So, Mermaidia and her mother decided to put a lone gravestone by their grandmother's house so Mermaidia could be remembered. Then, one day, Mermaidia's mother got the water bacteria cancer, and she grew very, very sick. Mermaidia was so nervous that her mother would die, but she didn't show it to anybody. After one hard morning, Mermaidia heard her mother call her from upstairs. "Mermaidia, can you come up here? I need to tell you something." And Mermaidia said, "Oh, okay, mother, I'm coming." And then she swam up the winding stairways up to her mother's bedroom. Creak. She walked inside and then gasped. Her mother was thrashing about and her skin was purple. And then she calmed herself and said, "Mermaidia, I need you to find some octopus medicine for me." "Where?" "In any place you know." Mermaidia hesitated and said, "Okay," and then she swam out of the door, her heart full of bold fire. As soon as Mermaidia went out of the water castle, she went straight to the dangerous pathway. As she walked along in a grudging and melancholy way, suddenly the sea got darker and impossible to undersea to boom! Mermaidia was so scared that she ran right into Shark's house. Mermaidia sat down by the window and said, I just wish my mother wouldn't die." And then something caught her eye. Her father's grave. She looked away, tears forming in her eyes. And then she said, "I should set to finding some octopus medicine if there are any here." And she wandered about, spilling squimmy porridge and breaking special video games. She collapsed into lots of fish gut beds and finally found the perfect one and said, "I'm never gonna let my mother die. Never, ever, ever." At just about dawn, three looming figures were approaching their den. "I'm hungry and starving. Let's enter a den." The first voice bellowed from the distance. Then a second voice was heard. "It's just about time for dinner." And then a sudden third voice bellowed and screamed from the distance. "Well, let's enter a den now." And then they charged as fast as a cheetah on land, maybe even faster, into their den. At just about that time, Mermaidia had arisen. And then she saw them, three sharks, all three of them, charging toward her. And she said, No, I'm scared of sharks." And then she trembled, and then bright spots appeared before her eyes. But she strained herself and then ducked under the covers and hid. Then there was the sound of slamming doors, slam, and shouting. Then one voice said, "Look, our squimmy porridge. Somebody spilled it all, and it's my favorite." And then some. "Our special video games. What happened? They're broken into pieces." And then some. And then door opened. The room where Mermaidia was hiding, trembling. And then a voice said, "This is bad. My Somebody's been in my bed. And then, this is horrible. My bed sheets are wrinkled. A shark said from very near her. Then Mermaidia said, I should show myself to them. There's nothing I can do in this situation. And she whipped back the covers. And then appalling growls came from the sharks. They opened their mouths, showing Mermaidia hundreds of sharp, serrated teeth. Mermaidia stood her ground and stared at them. The tension grew. And then she saw something at the corner of her eye. A metal bow and arrow. Then she reached out slightly with her right hand, grabbed the bow and arrow, and stuck her hands behind her back, hoping against hope that the sharks wouldn't notice. Then, as quick as lightning, she whipped out the bow and arrow and knocked an arrow and shot it. It went right through a random shark's fin. The shark howled in agony, blood spattering in every direction. The two other sharks had been eyeing Mermaidia, and then they charged toward her. Mermaidia noticed a racket behind her and dodged out of the way, and sent the sharks crashing into a drawer she hadn't seen before. But that wasn't what mattered. It was a bottle that was flying into the air, and the label said octopus medicine. Mermaidia gasped, but then said, I should kill the shark first before any of the other sharks get that medicine bottle. And she got a knife and was about to plunge it into the shark's black heart when shatter. She whipped around screaming, no! And was expecting to see shattered glass of octopus medicine everywhere. But to her great relief, a mattress had appeared and the octopus medicine bottle was lying safely in its clutch. Mermaidia grabbed it and slammed out the door as quickly as she could. And then Mermaidia walked along the pathway and saw the big water castle. It seemed like it'd been 1 billion years ago when she'd been in there. She stepped up to the water castle, opened the door, looked at the lock, and then slammed along to her mother's bedroom. Creak, creak. Mermaidia walked in gasped in pure horror. Her mother's long green-blue hair had turned short and gray, and her skin was bloating up, and it was purple again. Mermaidia's mother said, please pour it in now. I'm feeling pain. And then Mermaidia said, it's all right, Mother. I'm going to do it right now. It's not going to hurt. She poured it into her mother's open mouth, and then everything changed. Everything. Mermaidia's mother's long blue and green hair had returned, and her skin was the normal green skin color it had been before. Then Mermaidia's mother said, thank you so much, Mermaidia, for going through everything I forced you to go. Mermaidia said, it's okay, Mother. I did it for you. And Mermaidia's mother answered, pull me together again. Mermaidia answered in a quiet voice, in a quiet and bold